Welcome to the Gals Guide podcast. Join us on an adventure to get to know famous and infamous women from around the world. Each of our presenters has a pick. Is she ancient history? Is she breaking news? Is she safe for work? Well, that's up to each presenter. All we know is that...
Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
Welcome back. I'm Claire, and I'm joined by Katie, Leah, and Bonnie. We are spending a year focusing on personal and collective well-being by learning from women of history. This month's theme is Creativity and Expression Month. Bonnie already talked about Elizabeth Keckley, and Katie shared about Beatrice Wood. But before I share my pick, I want to ask a question about well-being. I want to know, what form of creativity just lets you play? No pressure, no big healing, just creative play as a grown-ass woman.
Yes. I mean, I have a guess on what Katie's might be, but I am willing to be 100% wrong.
I'm interested to know what your guess is.
I'm guessing it's your newfound love of pottery, but that's why I'm totally
Oh.
willing to be wrong. Because is it play yet at this point, or is it still, you know what I mean?
No, I'm
working it
I'm
out.
unfortunately still taking it a little bit seriously.
Okay, all right.
I mean, it is fun and I'm enjoying it, but the first thought that came to my mind for answers were two things. I think one, because I would never have the audacity to take it seriously, and that's dancing. I mean, for me, that's done in the safety of my home in front of the people I feel comfortable being completely goofy in front of.
Yeah.
Would be, my husband and my son. Just, cleaning, being in the kitchen, just whatever, feeling good, having fun. I mean, maybe I'll go a little bit out in public, but in my home, I will move in ridiculous ways. That's not appropriate for public consumption.
But Katie, you can dance if you want to.
Oh, that's right.
Leave your friends behind.
Yes.
I would never leave my friends behind, though. So I cannot dance like no one is watching.
Right. Yep. But I hope you dance.
Oh,
see, now we're just all trying to do
can't
different song
stop.
lyrics, aren't we? It's great.
Did someone do Dancing Queen yet?
And then the other one that I feel like I could play with is cooking. And I think that's because I've done it so much and I feel so comfortable with it that I feel like I can improvise, play around. I know what I like. I know the tastes and the fun. So I feel very comfortable playing in the kitchen.
I like it. Beautiful.
What about you?
Oh, goodness. The one that's coming to mind, because I try to creatively play with a variety of different things, because it's where you really kind of, you learn where the joy is. It's like, am I having fun with this? I say this most often when I am creating graphic design. So whether it's in Canva or whether I didn't have Photoshop, I had GIMP. I had the poor man's Photoshop. When I was just like playing around with stuff, like, because sometimes it is like work related. Sometimes it was just like I had an image in my head and I wanted to play it together. And I call it jazz. So a lot of times when I am doing any kind of graphic design, I just call it jazz. Does it look right? Does it feel right? Does it evoke the thing that I'm trying to have it evoke? And everything that is in your mind and then in the physical is a compromise. So it's like, is it as close enough to the compromise as possible? But I find a lot more creative play in the graphic design of moving things around, where if I am painting or drawing or anything like that, I'm far more critical. It's not as fun, but there's some fun.
Is that because you have the freedom of an undo button?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Erase, change the color. Like, I don't have to start over. I can just play around with it a little bit easier and undo. Yeah, very much.
Bonnie, what about you?
I would say, I mean, I always have fun, but I learned to crochet. Gosh, I'm probably on year 2 or something now.
Oh, nice.
I started with the little wooble kits, and then I moved on. I made 30 scarves or something for Christmas one year. but with that, it's like no, it's not like stress, but it's something I could do with my hands that I can like socially take anywhere, and I'm fine. I'm just a little crazy knitting lady. It's fine. But it's also people. It sounds like people online get like really worried about like messing up and having to undo it. I don't know how many times
Yeah.
I've just ripped that thing
Yeah.
like, and I'll be like in front of people. We'll have game night, and I'll realize, I've miscounted or whatever, and I just start ripping it, and people are like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "It's fine. Like, I just gotta redo this part. Like, it's fine." Like,
You don't want to
so,
live with that drop stitch or that miss stitch the entire time, so it's like just fix it
yeah.
now.
Well, the crochet, like knitting, you can go back and like pick up a dropped whatever. Crochet,
Sure.
you can't, but crochet is so much like faster than knitting. But it sounds like other people have like all this stress about like frogging their project, is what they call it when you're like undoing rows, and I'm like, it's fine. Like, it's fine. Like, I don't
It's
get
all
stressed out when I
fixable.
have to like redo a thing. Like, I definitely have the like, do I know how to count? I thought I knew how to count
Counting's
thing,
hard.
but I'm like, it's fine.
Yeah. I like that.
There's
It's
not
really
a,
cool.
I have to get the painting done for the show, whatever.
Right.
I'm like, I'm just knitting while we're watching TV.
And you don't have to wait for it to dry.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I've been working on doing a sweater or like a cardigan that I'm taking like the measurements from this pattern that I got, but I didn't like the stitch, so I'm doing a different stitch, but adjusting it, making sure it's the same size. And Trey's like, "Oh, you're like almost done with it." And I have like a sleeve and a half left. I have like the front and the back done. And I'm like, maybe. I don't know. It's all of an experiment. I may like sew it together and like have to like take it in several inches, which means undoing the whole thing. And I'm fine with that. And he's like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "You've been working on that for months." It's fine.
Exactly. Oh, I love that. Claire, what about you? Where do you get to play like a grown ass woman?
So I do a incredibly impressively bad Marilyn Monroe impression.
You do a great Marilyn Monroe impression.
It's well, I'm the best Marilyn Monroe impersonator in Vermilion, South Dakota, and it's because I'm the only
Take it.
Marilyn Monroe impersonator. But I'm terrible at it, but it is so much fun because I just do it as a way to crack up my friends, whether in person, like earlier this year, we arranged this big recording at an open mic night we took over in town.
Nice.
Or if I'm making a video of it to share with friends that I don't get to see in person. And it's horrible, but it is so much fun because there's no expectation. Like, if anyone wants to look it up, if you look up Marilyn Monroe Stacy's mom on YouTube,
Nice.
that'll be like my most
I know that
popular
reference.
video, and
Yeah,
it's got
I
like
like it.
tens of views.
Ah.
So there's no pressure. It's just fun and silly.
I love that.
And that question had absolutely nothing to do with the person I'm going to share with you.
That's totes fine.
But I am thrilled to be able to share one of my favorite artists with you. And I want to give you a little warning to hold on to your hats because we're going to talk about some head chopping tonight.
Yes. Love it.
One of my favorite artists is Artemisia Gentileschi. And if anyone of our friends listening wants to look her up, it's Artemisia, so it's spelled like Artemis, the goddess of the hunt, with an IA at the end. And one of my favorite paintings on the entire planet she made is Judith beheading Holofernes.
Epic.
I see some vigorous nodding. Is this a painting you're familiar with?
Oh, yes.
Very much.
I did a presentation of saucy gals of history, and I called her my revenge-fueled painter.
Ooh.
And Bonnie was very, very aware And I think Katie might have known before we presented, but I can't remember.
Excellent. So the Judith beheading Holofernes painting that she made, that's my favorite one, is the one that's in the Uffizi in Florence. She made it around 1620. It's about 6.5 feet tall and a little over 5 feet wide. And with this painting, it is an incredibly dramatic work of art. It's in a dark room and it looks like it is lit with a spotlight. And the bottom third of the canvas is a bed with white sheets. And on top of it is Holofernes. He is on his back. He's draped with a velvet blanket and he is pushing up because he is fighting for his life. Above his right fist, there's a woman in a blue dress with a white headscarf, and she's Abra. She's the maid servant. Her sleeves are rolled up and she is holding him down to the bed. And on our right is Judith. She's dressed in a gold gown. Her sleeves are also rolled up. She's got a bracelet on her forearm. She's holding Holofernes' hair with her left hand, and she is slicing through his neck with a sword with her right. And the blood, I don't know if people are going to judge me for this, but it is spurting out and it is splattering on the women and dripping down on the bed. And this is one of my favorite paintings to the point that I needed to make a life-size replica of it to hang in my dining room.
Nice. I love that.
And I was very lucky to actually get to see this painting in the Uffizi in Florence years ago when I was in grad school. Nice. So when the paint was still drying back in the 1600s, right. It was a long time ago. But to make my life-size replica, I needed to do some more research, which of course meant seeing more artwork by Artemisia Gentileschi. And a few years ago in 2023, I went to the Nelson Atkins Museum in Kansas City, Missouri, because they had an exhibition called Fierce Women, Artemisia Gentileschi and the Women Worthies. It was curated by Amy Marcero de Gallon, and she was fantastic. I got to meet with her and spend time with a different painting by Artemisia. It's called Judith and Her Maidservant with the Head of Holofernes. Have any of you seen this one?
I have seen this one. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
It's usually at home at the Detroit Institute of Art, but it came closer to me and I made that trip. This is an incredible painting as well. And I had never seen it before, and I was very lucky to get to see it in person. She made this one a little later, like around 1623. We're dealing with artwork that's over 400 years old, so the dates are a little
wibbly wobbly, timey wimey.
Yes. But this painting is also huge. And at the center of this dramatic painting, so it's in a dark room once again, it looks like it has a spotlight. It's actually lit by a candle within the composition. But standing in the middle, you have Judith, and she's wearing gold once again, and her sleeves are rolled up, and she is leaning forward, so to the viewer's left, and she's pushing with her left hand forward, and it's blocking some of this light, and it's casting a shadow on her face, and so the illuminated part of her face kind of looks like a crescent moon. And her right hand is holding the sword, because this is the aftermath. That one was before, this is after. And in the lower right hand corner of the painting, dressed in blue with her white headscarf again, is her maidservant Abra, and she's crouched down, wrapping up the head of Holofernes so they can get out of there. And with these two paintings, they are going back to the tale of Judith and Holofernes. And is this a story that you're already familiar with or would like to share?
I'm not as familiar with the story, so that's why I was just like, I know it has a reference, but I don't know it.
Yeah. And one thing that I love about artwork when it's good is you can look at it and go, yeah, I connect to that. And you don't need to know the context. But if you have the context, it makes it so much more rich. And this is a story, it goes back thousands of years. It comes out of the Jewish tradition where there was a war and there was an Assyrian general that was invading, and that's Holofernes, the guy who lost his head. And in order to defeat him, Judith was having none of this, and so she and her servant went into the enemy encampment, went into his tent, and it was under the guise that she was going to seduce him with cheese
Oh, I'm listening.
Yep.
and wine.
Yes.
I
Good
would
strategy.
lose my head. It's any art reception snack tray. I am out. But after he had a little bit too much cheese and wine and fell asleep, she chopped off his head and then snuck it out to reinvigorate her people.
Nice.
She took it home in a doggy bag.
Yes. And so these two incredible works of art were made by Artemisia Gentileschi, and she was born in 1593 in Rome. And since this theme is about healing and being creative despite these challenges, I wanted to share part of her biography and story with us. And part of that includes the culture. So, coming out of the Renaissance, and she would grow up to become a Baroque artist, but in Europe, women didn't have a lot of choices at the time.
Yeah.
The options for girls if they survived childhood and became adults, they got to be housewives, nuns, or sex workers.
Mm-hmm.
And really didn't get to choose that because this is a culture where girls are property of their fathers and then become property of their husbands if that's where they go.
Mm-hmm.
Yay!
Yay, choices. Wait.
And so Artemisia had a cloistered upbringing. She was kept out of public life, and that was pretty typical of the time in all of the regions that now make up Italy. And so she didn't get to leave the house very often, except for church. That was about it. And part of that, too, meant that she was illiterate. So her education, like with most girls, was pretty much non existent. Her mother was named Prudentia Montoni, but she died in childbirth when Artemisia was 12 years old.
Oh, gotcha. I always wondered what happened to her mom. Yeah.
Yeah. And her father originally wanted to send her to a convent because some families, if they didn't want to or couldn't afford a dowry, that was just the cheaper option. But it turned out she needed to help raise her 4 younger brothers.
Convenient.
So, with Artemisia's life and the men around her that were not so great, it reminds me of a very relatable quote, and it's from the movie Spaceballs. When Dark Helmet is learning the names of the people working for him, and he goes, "I knew it. I'm surrounded by assholes."
Exactly.
And
how many assholes we got on this ship? Yep.
Yeah. Yo. And that was Artemisia's life.
Fair.
Her father was a painter, and he was friends with Caravaggio.
Yeah.
These two employees for Dark Helmet were so fantastic that they actually were sued for libel because they wrote a poem about a rival artist and called him a testicle.
Nice.
Wow.
If your father is known at a time of rampant misogyny for being difficult to get along with, and all his friends are like murderers and sex traffickers and all these
terrible ways of being. Yeah.
Yes. So that is her life, and that is the context in which she's growing up in.
Yeah.
And she did actually get to learn and train to be an artist, but the only reason that happened was because her father, he was an artist, but he wasn't successful enough to have his workshop where he trained others outside of the home. And so it was in the home. And since she wasn't allowed to leave, she was able to train as an artist.
Mhm.
And so when we go to museums and look at all the artwork, and especially with art made more than 100 years ago, where are all the women at?
Mhm.
They weren't allowed to train in Europe and then later in the United States.
Yeah.
And so if we see artists, like especially Italian artists from hundreds of years ago, it's because their dads were artists and so they just lucked
Mhm.
out on that.
Mhm.
Or on the rare occasion if maybe their mom was an artist, but that would mean grandpa was an artist.
Right.
And when she was still learning and a teenager, the first painting we have that she created with her name on it is called Susanna and the Elders, and she finished that in 1610. And this is a painting where this is also coming out of the Catholic tradition, which harkens back to the Jewish tradition. So there's a woman and she's outdoors in her garden sitting on a stone bench, and there's two creepy perverts peeking in on her. And Susanna, is looking a bit distraught and ashamed and very upset about this interaction, which is pretty notable because this is like the first time we get to see this narrative
Mhm.
where we're supposed to identify with the woman.
Yeah.
Because Artemisia, big surprise, as a woman can humanize women.
Right.
Now, despite all of her progress and showing a lot of promise as being an artist, she still had to deal with a lot. And unfortunately, her drawing teacher, who was about twice her age, well, he assaulted her. And
Yeah.
I don't want to dwell on the details or even mention what his name is, but it culminated with her father taking him to court, and not because he attacked her,
Right.
but because he had promised to marry her to restore her honor and didn't fulfill that promise because whoopsie doopsie, he was already married to a woman he tried to have murdered.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So her best case scenario would have been horrible. And
Mhm.
it was a 7-month trial. If people want to look up these details, they can.
Mhm.
But I'm going to gloss over that and go with the happy ending of he faced no real punishment. Yay!
True.
Isn't it great how we've had so much progress in the last 400 years?
Exactly. I feel ya.
hmm So immediately after the trial ended, her father married her off to a different loser. I mean, a different
Dude.
painter. And the couple moved to Florence. And while she was in Florence, so shortly after this, she created her first Judith beheading Holofernes. The one I shared with you is a variation of it.
Mhm.
But in 1612 or around there, she made Judith beheading Holofernes. And this one is in Naples. And I have not seen this one in real life yet, but it's a very similar composition. It's huge and it's showing that chiaroscuro is the fancy term
Mhm.
we can use. So it means you have that bright spotlight and those dark shadows. And so the bottom third is the bed, and on top of it is Holofernes, and he's punching up at Abra, the maidservant. But this time she's wearing red. And
Mhm.
on the right, Judith is wearing blue instead. And this painting, unfortunately, was chopped down, so we are missing part of it. So if anybody is listening, when you collect artwork, don't cut it down.
Public service announcement. Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't cut the ear.
let's not do that. And so that was an incredible painting that she had also made, and she made so many accomplishments when she was starting off her career as an artist, which is pretty much unheard of.
Yeah.
She was the breadwinner in her family. Her husband was supposedly a painter, but he didn't really work and kind of just spent all his time screwing around. Yes, that
Yeah.
was a euphemism. And spending all her money, but she was able to secure patrons, including some of the Medici.
Ah.
Additionally, she gave birth to 5 children in 5 years.
Oh, wow.
Bonnie, your reaction to that?
Well, I had seen a thing like a week ago, and it's still just floating around in my head, where some lady was talking about, they grew up with a grandpa they thought was like the nicest grandpa or whatever, and their grandma, like, they had like 12 kids in like 12 years, kind of a thing. And then as they're becoming adult and thinking about it now, and they're like, that was abuse. Like, they were
Mhm.
like, could not let that woman heal between pregnancies.
Mhm.
And it's just like, oh man.
Right. Yeah. True.
Yeah. And unfortunately, 4 of those children died when they were very young. The only child
Oh.
that survived adulthood was named Prudentia after her mother,
Oh.
and she became a painter too. It's
Yay.
but in addition to that, she was also the first woman admitted to the Academy of Art and Design in Florence.
Nice.
Nice.
This is amazing because this is a time where men were debating if women had souls. And
I don't
we're
know why I
still,
laugh at it because it's so ridiculous. But yes, no, it was a real debate.
yep. And this is also coming out of the tradition of women are just deformed men
Right. Hmm.
and can't be people, let alone be able to produce artwork.
Right. They produce
Oh,
children.
I was gonna say they
yes.
make people.
Yes, but
Mhm, mhm.
they're only the incubators, according
Mhm.
to
Of
all
course,
of
of
those
course.
philosophers.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
that's convenient.
So, in addition to all of this malarkey she has to put up with, she also learned how to read and write.
Yay!
Nice.
And so, we know a lot about her life from the letters that she wrote.
Mhm.
And so this will bring us up to around 1620 when she made Judith Beheading Holofernes, that first one, the one that I have a life-size replica of in my dining room. It's at the head of the table. And so that means our Thanksgivings are a little less Norman Rockwell and a little bit more Addams Family.
I like it.
And one thing that is so incredibly impressive with this painting she created, if you compare it to other Judith and Holofernes, not
Mhm.
only are the women actually active and they look strong and they're determined, but the blood in it is
Oh yeah.
arcing in an accurate way. In her earlier one,
Mm.
the blood is just on the bed, so like Holofernes is dead.
Mhm.
In this one, it's his blood is still pumping. It is his last breath. And what's really cool is she was friends with Galileo, and so that's how she
Oh.
learned about how liquids arc.
Oh, neat science.
Yes, so not all the men in her life were
Some
terrible.
was Galileo in the tower? Was he locked
Well,
imprisoned at that time with mad at the Pope or?
I'm not sure, but
But
Galileo also helped her get paid for this painting because they were
nice.
delaying on payment, and so he helped secure that.
Look at that.
It's kind of like, I don't know if any of you also have this problem, but whenever I buy a car in South Dakota, I have to bring a man with me so I don't get screwed over on the price. Even if it's a friend who's like, I don't know anything about cars. I'm like, I don't care.
Mhm.
I just need you there
Mhm.
because the prices I get quoted and the treatment I get when I go to car dealerships and auto body shops drastically different once I bring my male escort with. Ugh.
Right. If you want to play a fun game, this is what I did when I bought my last car is I had my husband do all the talking and I just kind of played, "Oh, I don't know. I like the color blue." And then when we get to price, I go, "We're not paying that." And suddenly the tone has shifted going, "No, I'm sorry, no."
So I
This
think
is the price.
anytime a man helps a woman save money or get paid, he gets a Galileo point.
I like it. Galileo points.
We
The
bought
Indigo girls would be so proud.
we bought a car recently, and I specifically searched out at the couple of dealerships near us, the female sales people
There
like
you go.
on their team, and I had lucked out. Like I grabbed one that had good reviews, and she was like super nice, and like we're dealing with her and only talking with her,
Mhm.
and she's been great and wonderful. And then her boss, I guess, is
Sure.
like sending me emails and voicemails, and I am like intentionally like not messaging him because I'm like I'm gonna be so shitty with him. Like, do you not trust your sales people? Like, why are you contacting me?
Mhm.
It's like,
Exactly. We don't need two
like,
people on this conversation.
mm,
I have my salesperson.
mm.
Take it.
Well, at least she didn't have to worry about buying cars because it was a 1600s.
True. Exactly.
So Artemisia ended up moving back to Rome, and I have great news. Her parasitic husband abandoned her and her daughter
Oh, look at that. Well, you
after
know.
he attacked a musician.
Cool.
Yes, so she didn't have to deal with him anymore.
Nice.
And Artemisia moved around a bit. She also lived in Venice, Naples, and London. And as I shared, she did learn how to read and write. But one thing that I learned very recently that makes her even more endearing to me is that she had bad handwriting and was a terrible speller.
Nice.
Life goals.
You know, my handwriting is quite atrocious, and my spelling can be described as creative. So,
Mhm.
I like it.
but in a letter she had written to a patron, she wrote, "And I will show your most illustrious lordship what a woman can do."
Nice.
Yes.
So not only is she contending with the competition of securing patrons and making artwork, but all of the added sexism on top of it, and then dealing with a lot of the trauma from her past and how that made people in power view her. But she knew her self-worth and advocated for it at a time where that she probably shouldn't have even been in public, which I find amazing. She created, or we know of about 60 paintings that she created.
Wow.
She specialized in depicting history and mythology, and she's really well known for her strong women. One thing, well, actually, from the paintings that you've seen of hers, or even the one I described, what stands out to you about her work?
It
The
has a
one.
lot of energy.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I
Mhm.
feel like you're right. You said strong, but I do feel that like energy and it's vibrant.
excellent.
I like the anger that's in it. I do. I really do. It's portrayed very well.
I'm always like one of my first things thinking about her is like in art school where they're comparing the same subject that Caravaggio does, and his ladies are like I don't know, they're like Barbie dolls? I don't know. They're like it's like they're not even really like there. They're like they're not really holding
Yeah.
objects. They're just kind of like me, like cutting off a dude's head. So it's like she's a woman in the same time frame doing the same thing in the same kind of style and doing it so much better.
Mhm.
And yet we know about him way more.
Yeah.
Bonnie was the one that pointed out, look at the hands.
Yes.
You can tell with are the
It's like
hands
a limp
touching anything?
wrist holding a
Yes.
sword. Like,
The Caravaggio's version of Judith slaying Holofernes was at the Minneapolis Institute of Art a couple years ago. And his Judith is just like, ew, yucky.
and the maid's like an old lady because
Mhm.
oh, it's a maid.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And one way, if you want to play art history bingo, when you're looking at this Baroque art with that chiaroscuro lighting, and you're looking at the characters, and there are women in it, and they're doing something, a way to check if it's Artemisia without even reading the gallery tag is to look at the hands,
Mhm.
because she is making the hands active. They're grasping a sword. They're holding down his hair. She will put hands in fists even if there isn't something going on with the hands. Whereas the men folk of the day, the hands are dainty and pointed, and there's all this art like philosophy about how they have to taper to a certain way. And if you look at paintings like by her father of a woman holding a musical instrument, it's like balanced on her tippy fingers.
Barely
And
touching. Yeah.
Artemisia had the innovation of, no, women can hold stuff too. Duh.
Exactly.
But the men just didn't do that. And another way you can tell if it's her is the women's bodies kind of look like humans.
Right. That's a plus.
One of my favorites is seeing how Michelangelo Buonarroti would depict women, which are basically buff male bodybuilders with a Nerf ball sliced in half and attached somewhere in the testular region. But her bodies look like actual people because she was a person and was expressing her humanity. And even just having that activity, that energy, you'll see sleeves rolled up. They are ready to do work, whether it is slicing off a dude's head or something else.
That qualifies as women's work, doesn't it?
Yes. But unfortunately, a lot of her paintings have suffered misattribution. So many of her paintings were, people would look and go, there's no way a woman did that. Her dad must have done it, or Caravaggio did it. And what's really exciting is in the last century and the century we're in now, they are finding more work by Artemisia. They are reattributing it. There was, I can't remember, I think it was a painting of David and Goliath, and they took off some of the overpainting and found Artemisia's signature on the sword.
Wow. Was there the whole time.
And very recently, there was a painting of hers where it was Mary Magdalene, and somebody had cut out the head, and they found the rest of the painting of just her body. And that sold at auction for, I think it was estimated about $100,000, and it sold for almost $1 million. And it's missing the face because of some nefarious dealings after World War II. But
interesting.
Everyone keep a lookout for just a small portrait of a Baroque lady. Join the two pieces together.
I'm surprised that someone even kept that part. Like, because if you're ripping it out, you think that you're like cutting that out. That's amazing that was even.
Maybe you're going to start an apple orchard and have one of those things where people put their face in it.
Yes. I was joking. She invented the first face in a hole.
Yeah.
Right? Dig it.
But despite these challenges, the trauma, the literal torture she underwent, misogyny, possibly dying during a plague, she was incredibly successful during her life. Her paintings show agency of women. She's in worldwide collections, and she's incredibly relatable today. I'm a little torn, like I wish she wasn't so relatable, but oh my goodness, she is.
That's fair, because then we'd be living in a different kind of world, right?
Yeah. And I want to leave with another quote in a letter she wrote to Galileo. And she said, "I have seen myself honored by all the kings and rulers of Europe, to whom I have sent my works, not only with great gifts, but also with most favored letters, which I keep with me."
Aw, there you go.
Mic drop.
Yeah. And so this is why I had to make a life-size replica of Judith beheading Holofernes. But I have to ask, if you had a painting by Artemisia Gentileschi, where would you hang it?
Oh, man. I mean, more than likely it would probably be, this is my office, but it's also my bedroom. So it's a perfect, like, two places in one. So I see it while I'm working and I see it when I'm resting.
Are you going with a head chopping one or a different painting?
100% the head chopping one. Yes, the
Well,
in
you
action
have,
with the blood splurting, the full action, the life-size action one.
if it's also your bedroom, do you have to get a red velvet blanket too?
I
Or
think
is
that
that
would
ominous?
only be fitting. I think it would work. Yes, exactly.
Some red dangly string for the kitty cat.
Exactly. It would be in a place where I'd want to see it every single day. For sure. Yeah.
I'd probably end up putting it like on the front of the garage door so people know who they're messing with.
I like that idea. Yeah.
I think I would be like Claire and choose dining room
Mhm.
because, like, I don't think the living room would be formal enough to honor because that's like my just like veg out TV, like be a slob, don't pay attention room. And like kitchen would be too messy and things get fucked up in there.
Yeah.
So I think like my dining room, it's where I keep my plants and my like things that I want to be like enjoy the beauty of. So dining
Yeah.
room.
I like that.
This painting is about 6.5 feet tall too. So
Big walls,
for
big space.
for wall space, it did have to
Yeah.
go in the dining room.
I have tall ceilings.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I don't have like my own kind of like study or library. I don't have my own office space.
Mhm.
When I work from home, I work at the dining room table.
Yeah. It's
So
where the
this is
work
my
gets done. It's
space.
where the food gets done.
Yeah.
It's a space you see every single day.
Yep.
Mhm.
It's where bitches get shit done.
Yeah.
And I feel like if I put it in my bedroom, it could be a little much for my husband, maybe a little overwhelming, a little frightening,
It's a warning.
Yeah.
I mean,
Mhm.
yeah.
You
Could
know
be
how
portable.
You know how people have Star Wars sheets? Why isn't this printed on a bedspread?
Right?
Yes, a duvet cover.
It's in the public domain, so
Right.
you could probably upload
Yeah.
something to Spoonflower.
I'm
Yeah.
seeing like shower
Do you
curtain in
think
my
it'd
future.
sell well on Etsy
Yes.
as a duvet cover
Yes.
or a pillow sham?
Although I do not know the consumer sales records of said duvets, but
Pillow covers. One is Judith and the maid doing the beheading, and the other one's like the head in the basket.
I think we got this on lock.
Doggy bag.
Before I derail us any further,
Yes. I
did
like that.
anyone have any additional thoughts to share?
I didn't
one
know
thing-
we had some of her letters, so I'm gonna have to go and read those.
Yeah. The question I've always had about her, because I've seen the different iterations and the different color dresses, I always think to myself, how many times did she paint this? And
Yeah.
what was she working out each time? Like maybe it was a commission, maybe it was something she wanted to change. But I do feel so much anger and rage and revenge in it that I'm like, how many times did she paint it? What was she working out each time she did it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And working at that time was a lot of working with patrons, but sometimes if some fancy hoity-toity guy has that painting hanging up, someone else who's
Wants it. Yeah.
fancy will be like, I want that too. And then she would make another version of it. And then what's great is how there are these different changes and things
Yeah.
improve. Like in the Uffizi one, Judith is wearing a bracelet on her forearm, and it actually has little blue, like cameo carvings of the goddess Artemis.
Ooh, look at that.
And
Nice.
so you have these relations
little
between,
takes.
the goddess of the hunt and Artemisia, who it would not have been acceptable for her to strike back and be violent like all of these other men. And she's able to have that little bit of an Easter egg in her painting.
I like that. Yeah. Savvy. Beautiful. Well, did you want to wrap up this wonderful episode for us?
Yes. Well, that wraps it up for us this week. Join the Gals Guide podcast next week as we learn more about creativity and expressionism.
That's another woven thread into our personal and collective well-being tapestry. If you loved learning about women's history or are looking for some self-care, discover even more community and care at galsguide.org. Until next time, keep sharing women's stories.